Hi everyone and welcome back to Coco Cake Land. I really love how this Bridgerton themed vintage Lambeth cake turned out. It's actually a black forest cake, so I did dark chocolate cake layers, vanilla Swiss meringue buttercream, and I dotted the buttercream layers with these really yummy Amarena Italian cherries in syrup. They have like a delicious sweet yet touch of sour flavor to them that I love, and I just sort of dotted those on and spread it out. Then, of course, I just continued to build my cake, adding the next dark chocolate cake layer and then a very generous helping of the vanilla Swiss meringue buttercream. And I spread it all the way out to the edges, smoothing it out as best as possible, and of course, frosting the entire sides. So, this is my crumb coat. So, once I smoothed this all out, I chilled it in the freezer for about 15 minutes. Then I added my next color. So, I added a Bridgerton blue, which I thought was really pretty, and I smoothed this out and of course used my bench cake scraper to smooth the sides as well. I ran my cake bench scraper along the edges quite a few times just to get it really as smooth as I possibly could, and I filled in any little gaps with some more buttercream. And then I took my offset spatula and I smoothed it as best as I could. I'm definitely not perfect at smooth edges, but I do the best I can. So next I took my large leaf tip filled with pink buttercream and I piped a ruffly border along the bottom. So I just love the look of that. I think it's so cute. And then I took a 1M tip filled with the Bridgerton blue and I piped another ruffly border. So you just squeeze the piping bag and you pull away. And then to continue, you just pipe right on top of the last one to sort of create that border effect. And next we're going to use a small leaf piping tip filled with green buttercream to make a swag. So I am not the best at doing a continual piped swag like some other cake makers are. So I just recommend doing what I do, which is stop halfway through and then just keep going with your swag. So if you're not completely comfortable with doing a continual swag, you can totally do this method because you will just pipe right on top of the tail of the last swag bit and no one will even notice. As you can see, there's little notches on the top of the cakes, and that's so I know where to start and end my swag. You can just use a toothpick to make those little notches, and that way your swags are even. And now I'm going back to my large leaf tip filled with my pink buttercream, and I'm just going to make a ruffly border along the top of the cake. And again, if you're not a continual piper, you can just pipe and stop, and then you can pipe right on top of the last tail of your last ruffle. And you just want to keep piping until you reach the end of your circle. And next up, I'm going to use my Bridgerton Blue 1M tip once again to make sort of a shell border in the center like a little circle. Again, squeeze your piping bag, pull towards, and pipe the next ruffle on top of the tail of the last one. And then I used my leaf tip to also make a little circle in the center as well. Sorry for the in and out of the camera focus. Oops. Okay, then I made little tiny pink rosettes using a small open star tip. I can't remember the name of the tip, but I'll look it up for you. And all you do is you squeeze your piping bag. And as you squeeze, you're going to do a quick little counterclockwise rotation. So squeeze and counterclockwise rotate, squeeze and counterclockwise rotate, and you're just going to do that in the center of each swag, and it just looks so cute. I also am going to add the same little rosettes to the bottom ruffle layer there. So I just do it in between the other rosettes on the top of the swags. And again, you just squeeze that piping bag and a quick little rotation counterclockwise. One thing I wish I did was I wish I added some leaves to those bottom rosettes. I think that would have been really cute, but oh well, I'll do that next time. So finally, I topped my cake with some stemmed maraschino cherries, and these are from a jar. And I love the stems because they kind of like flop this way and that, and it looks kind of artful and cute. If you didn't want to use the radioactive red cherries, that's totally fine. You can do raspberries or you can do regular cherries if they're in season. I love maraschino cherries because of the pop of color, but also because they're just available year round. And you just want to evenly space those out on the top of your cake. And I just think they look so cute and vintagey with the cherries. And of course, it gives you a little hint of what's inside because this is a Black Forest cake after all. So I hope this cake has inspired you to make your own vintage Lambeth themed cake, whether it's Bridgerton themed or not. Are you a Bridgerton fan and have you seen season 3? Let me know what you think in the comments.